So here we are as usual, always our attempt is to be involved in something noble, something good, something that can bring knowledge, happiness, and fulfillment to all around.
Como siempre, bueno, estamos aquí porque nuestro objetivo está estar siempre involucrados en algo que sea noble, en algo que sea bueno, en algo que pueda aportar felicidad y satisfacción al mundo.
So one of the most important citations that is often cited from Vedas is Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitram iha vidyate. Nahi jnanena sadrusham pavitra iha vidyate. There is nothing more auspicious than the knowledge, the true knowledge.
Una de las citas más importantes de las Vedas es que no hay nada más auspicioso que el verdadero conocimiento.
So the knowledge makes us free, makes us aware of different things. So knowledge, Vedas did not proclaim any particular god or any figure or any group of gods or any set commandments. Yoga has given the topmost place to the knowledge, to the illumination.
El conocimiento es el conocimiento que nos libera, el conocimiento que nos da conciencia y no se programó o no se promulgó o se dijo que tenía que ser un determinado grupo de dioses o un equipo de mando o diferentes divinidades, sino que el yoga es lo más importante.
Knowledge.
El conocimiento.
Okay. So, because knowledge sets you free, knowledge gives the strength, knowledge shows the path.
El conocimiento te libera, te da fortaleza y te muestra el camino.
So that's why anything that you do to get knowledge, to increase your knowledge, to get the clarity is all pure, it's all divine, is all noble.
Por eso cualquier cosa que hagas para aumentar el conocimiento, para aprender, es noble, es divino.
That's why, generally when we see there is a fight between the science and religion. But if you see the Vedas are devotees of knowledge. So if a scientist finds the knowledge with experimentation and the yogi finds the knowledge about the realities, sitting in meditation, both are equally divine, both are equally to be worshipped, respected.
Si os fijáis, siempre hay como una especie de lucha entre la religión y la ciencia, ¿no? Pero en realidad los Vedas son devotos del conocimiento, ¿no? Y si el científico adquiere el conocimiento a través de la experimentación o el yogi adquiere el conocimiento a través de la meditación y de la conexión con la fuente del conocimiento, ambos son igualmente respetables y adorables.
So whatever is advised, prescribed is just to be able to have a more clarity, to access, to be in touch, to be united with the knowledge. And with the help of that illumination, go beyond the cycle of suffering, birth, living, suffering, death, this continuous cycle of samsara. You super it, you overcome with the help of illumination.
Okay. Cualquiera que sea la recomendación es para ser capaz de tener una mayor claridad, para estar más unido al conocimiento y con la iluminación, liberarnos del sufrimiento, del dolor y llegar a conseguir esta liberación con este conocimiento último.
So whatever is your path or the path that opens in front of you, that attracts you, that makes it easier for you, all is good as long as your aim is the reaching in a knowledge, reaching in illumination.
Entonces, sea cual sea el camino que elijas para ir hacia adelante, todo el camino es bueno, siempre y cuando sea con el objetivo de llegar a la iluminación.
So, as usual, in this noble task that we are going to see together, how one of the very prominent parts of Vedic wisdom, that is part of yoga, how it helps us to not only evolve spiritually, but also how it helps us in day-to-day living, in our regular aspects of health, of strength, of mental strength.
Como es habitual en este camino, ¿no? En uno de los caminos más prominentes, vamos a ver no solo cómo nos ayuda a hacer una evolución espiritual, sino también a ser capaces de vivir el día a día, de vivir nuestra vida diaria.
So, before to start, as usual, the yogic and the practice, we go with the prayer to help us in today's sharing of this knowledge. Knowledge itself is one of the manifestations of God in whichever form you worship, God Almighty or super consciousness or goddess of wisdom Saraswati or God of wisdom Ganesha, in whichever way, or any other God of other tradition, whichever. Important is that you feel that devotion, love, and attraction. And with that attitude, let us pray to Ganesha, then Devi Saraswati, and then the divinity that is very much connected with today's celebration of the first part of our celebration of Yoga Day, that is Maharshi Patanjali.
Como siempre vamos a empezar con las plegarias a Ganesha, Sarasvati y a la divinidad relacionada con la celebración de hoy, que es Patanjali, y vamos a hacer esta plegaria con amor, con devoción y con atracción para adquirir este camino.
And then at the end, we will be chanting for the process itself of gaining the knowledge.
Y al final cantaremos por el proceso en sí mismo de obtener el conocimiento.
Uniting together and learning together.
Para estar todos unidos y aprendiendo todos juntos.
Oh. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya. Surya Koti Samaprabha. Nirvignam Kurume Deva. Shubhakarishu Sarvadaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Namaste Sharade Devi. Namaste Sharade Devi. Namaste Sharade Devi. Vasantam mama jivagre sarva vidya pradabhava. Om Gananam Tvam Gam Ganpati Havamahe Kavi Kavinam Upashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspat Anah Shunmaniti Visida Sadhanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajibhir Vajinivati Dhinam Vitravatu. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Now we do the recitation of Patanjali, because Patanjali Muni in ancient times brought the knowledge of yoga in the form of Yoga Sutras for all of us, even now, to follow the advices, follow the practices recommended. So he has opened this treasure of knowledge. So in gratitude to Patanjali Muni. Om Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena Yopakarotvam Pravaram Muninam Patanjali Pranjali Ranatosmi Patanjali Pranjali Anatosmi. Om. Om. Now our assembly and our learning. Om. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastum Mam Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om. So we are going to just not going into any details or technical knowledge or lot of information about Hatha Yoga or any techniques. I'm going to mention the techniques by names, but we are just going to see how this age-old wisdom can be applied to today's situation, today's difficulties, our worries, etc., and how we can, with the help of yoga, how we can overcome that situation. Whether really yoga has answers for that, or it is only for the people who can go to India or go to any other place, go to temples, are very, very thin, and they are vegans or they are only eating greens, and they talk some difficult non-violent language. Or really that science is so potent, as is claimed by many yogis, that it can also help an ordinary person.
Ok. Vamos a hablar, no va a ir a hablar directamente del conocimiento técnico, del conocimiento del Hatha Yoga. Igual sí que pronuncia algunas cosas, pero van a ser como a más, ¿no? Se trata de ver cómo este conocimiento se puede aplicar en las dificultades actuales y cómo podemos salir adelante, ¿no? Porque si el yoga tiene respuestas para todos o solo las tiene para las personas que están en India y que visitan templos, o para aquellas personas que están muy delgadas, o para aquellas personas que son muy delgadas, o para aquellas gentes que tiene o utiliza términos como muy complejos, o si sencillamente el yoga puede ayudar a cualquier persona, a una persona normal.
So no doubt today's situation and the time we feel we are a little bit going out of this pandemic situation, but you know, this pandemic seems to be on a way out, but you know, it's still unrevealing, opening so many difficulties, so many new sufferings for the people, so many reactivation of the old diseases, or super stimulation of the immunities. So I just was seeing, and I found 731 studies just in last 1.5 years or less than 1.5 years, which are available on PubMed. PubMed is US government website, you know. There they are published online, you can see here, there are different situations that we are encountering also in our own practice, that how there is an explosion of autoimmune diseases, of psoriasis, of migraine, asthma, arthritis, pseudo-arthritis, and also effects of this kind of vaccines.
No hay duda de que la situación actual estamos saliendo, pero se están mostrando nuevas dificultades y nuevas enfermedades o enfermedades antiguas reactivadas o otras situaciones, ¿no? De hecho, haciendo simplemente una búsqueda en PubMed, ha encontrado 731 artículos solo en el último año y medio accesibles, en el que se muestra que hay como una explosión de enfermedades autoinmunes, de psoriasis, de asma, artritis, de pseudoartritis, además de las enfermedades, las consecuencias de las vacunas.
So I have not seen any system of human body that is spared, from neurology, skin, hematology. I have seen some people who have got blood cancer, activation of marrow cell abnormalities. So all this has caused so much fear, so much confusion, so much anger, and of course melancholy, enormous suffering all over the world.
Hay muchísimas enfermedades que están saliendo, ¿no? Problemas, prácticamente parece que no haya libre ningún sistema, ¿no? Problemas de enfermedades neurológicas de la piel, incluso se están viendo en reactivaciones de cánceres sanguíneos por alteraciones en la médula ósea, ¿no? Y todo esto que está causando en todo el mundo miedo, confusión, rabia y melancolía.
So, we see now people are really at the end of their tolerance. So many people are irritable without our being even ourselves. We see our patience has gone down. So people respond badly. Interpersonal clashes are happening at different levels. And even, people are, even ordinary situations, people are overreacting.
Ahora las personas están como al límite, ¿no?, de su tolerancia, lo que está produciendo y está generando que la gente responda mal, que haya más problemas a nivel de relación y que en cualquier situación, aunque sea una situación sencilla, se esté hiperreaccionando.
All this new news that is coming now, the new kind of diseases are manifesting, like reactivation of monkeypox, etc. So, everything we seems finally it is going to finish, but some new news comes and disturbs us. So people are suffering.
Estamos viendo la reactivación pues, de la viruela del mono, etcétera. Entonces todo esto al final está generando problemas, preocupaciones.
So, during the pandemic, we used to get a lot of information by mail, by news, by WhatsApp, by videos, etc. Somebody said virus is not existing. Somebody said it is there. Somebody said it is from another country. Somebody said no, it is some militaries. All sorts of things. Everybody was an expert on all the aspects of the medicine, economy, politics, and whatever.
Durante la pandemia tuvimos muchísima información a través de los diferentes medios, ¿no? Y unos decían que no existía el virus, otros que sí, otros que era de otro país, otro que era un virus militar. Todo el mundo se convirtió en un experto en un tema o en otro.
Then on vaccine, a big confusion, and now everything out in open. We did not waste our time on that, but it was the things that are happening till now.
Todo esto, bueno, han sido todas estas cosas que han estado pasando hasta ahora, ¿no? En abierto.
Yeah, then, there were many groups, somebody pro-mask, somebody anti-mask, somebody against regulation, somebody for regulation, all sorts of things. And then I see that people are fighting, are divided. are arguing with each other.
He visto gente pro mascarilla en contra de la mascarilla, pro protección en contra de protección. Esto ha generado que la gente esté luchando y que la gente esté dividida.
And this is still continuing.
Y continúa.
Actually, I mean, I have seen a very strong arguments, very strong debates, etc. in a group, in a wayside places, or in the garden, or in one group. But come on, we are common people. We need not be fighting between ourselves. Enemy is somewhere else.
He visto discusiones y debates intensos entre grupos de personas, pero al final somos personas normales, ¿no? Y no deberíamos estar discutiendo o peleando.
Right. So instead of going into that, we can look to use our energy for different things.
En lugar de estar peleando, podemos utilizar nuestra energía para cosas diferentes.
You know, in one very illustrative classic story, once there was one man. He was newly having a hobby of flying in a hot air balloon.
Había una vez un hombre que tenía el hobby de volar en un globo.
So, with a grand enthusiasm of a new follower, he decided one windy day to go on that, and he launched, and then by his bad luck, the winds were unpredictable, and he missed his track, and he was deviated to a very mountainous and very thickly forested area.
Como estaba muy entusiasta por esta nueva afición, decidió un día subirse en un globo, y era un día que hacía viento y por mala suerte los vientos fueron impredecibles y le desvió a una zona montañosa y boscosa.
So after some time, he was taken by the strong winds to some other region which he could not identify. He was confused and afraid, apprehensive. So once, after some time, when he found that the winds were calming and he could little bit go down, he started going down little bit to see if he could see some habitation or village where he can go down. But he could not find anything. But what he found was in that area, one hiker or a mountain walker was walking. So he thought, oh, very good. There is some man, at least I can go a little bit down and ask him where we are and ask the directions.
Después de un tiempo desviado, ¿no? Estaba con una zona desconocida, y entonces cuando vieron que los vientos se calmaron, empezó a intentar descender para ver si podía encontrar alguna población en la que pudiese aterrizar o bajar o ver a alguien. Entonces vio que no había nada, pero sí que encontró un hombre que caminaba por la mañana y dijo, bueno, bajaré un poco para ver si puedo hablar con este hombre y a ver qué me dice.
So actually this man also had lost his track, and he was trying to find out way out of the forest.
El hombre que caminaba por el bosque también estaba perdido y estaba intentando encontrar la salida del bosque.
So like he was worried because evening was approaching, and the other man was worried because he was high up in the air and maybe he will crash soon. So he came down, and when he was in a shouting, hearing distance, he shouted to me, hey, hi, do you know where I am? What is this zone? And is there a nearby village?
Ambos estaban preocupados, ¿no? El hombre que caminaba porque se estaba oscureciendo y no iba a poder encontrar el camino, y el que estaba en el globo porque tarde o temprano se le iba a acabar y se iba a caer hacia abajo. Entonces el del globo se bajó lo que pudo y se acercó diciendo, hola, ¿sabes dónde estoy? Y si hay alguna zona por aquí cerca, alguna zona habitada por aquí cerca.
So this man who himself was lost, man who was walking in the forest, said, look, I am myself lost, I don't know. where it is. I have lost and I'm going around for hours. I don't find my way out.
Y el hombre
Sorry.
que iba caminando le dijo, mira, estoy yo también perdido y estoy intentando encontrar la salida. Lo siento.
So the man who was expecting great help was so disappointed. He sharply said, "Oh, you are good for nothing."
Y entonces el hombre que estaba en el globo le contestó de una forma como muy aguda. Oh, dice, no, no sirves para nada.
So the man on the ground, the lost man in the jungle, he also got irritated. He said, "Oh, you are very sharp. You must be some very high manager
Dice, oh, dice, tú eres muy, muy agudo, ¿no? Debes ser un jefazo
or one director."
o un director.
So the man in the globe said, "Oh, my God, how do you know?"
Y le dijo, el hombre del globo dijo, wow, ¿cómo lo sabes?
I mean, you are a very intelligent person,
Eres una persona muy inteligente.
but how do you know?
¿Cómo lo sabes?
He said, "It's very easy."
Le dijo, es muy fácil.
What? Yes, because you see, you started on some fancy project. You don't know nothing. You don't have control where it will take you. And now you are lost. You don't know what to do. And now all of a sudden, it is other persons that is my fault. You are
Empezaste,
blaming me.
es muy fácil, dice, empezaste un proyecto muy curioso, ¿no? Que no sabías dónde te iba a llevar y ahora que estás perdido y no sabes a dónde te va a llevar, la culpa es mía, ¿no? La culpa es de otro.
So this is what is now happening, because we are asking, we are talking, we are fighting, we are arguing, we are breaking friendships. Also, I have seen some people getting so angry. But
Eso es,
both are lost. If there is no light of knowledge, there is no clarity. These arguments are only going to create bad feelings. It will not lead us to the proper path. It will only cause negativity to increase.
esto es lo que pasa, ¿no? Esto es lo que pasa, ¿no? Preguntamos y lo que hacemos es rompemos amistades, peleamos, pero ambos estarán perdidos y si no hay un conocimiento, solo se causará un aumento de la negatividad.
Right. So when we are in a difficulty, when we are lost, when we don't have clarity, it's not time to indulge into arguments or getting angry or upset. When we are lost, it's like now our situation is like we don't know whether to take vaccine or not, what to do for immunity, whether any other new disease will come or not, what will be our future. These are all worries everybody on the global level is facing, but it does not automatically, we should not become negative. We should not fall to that negativity, which is very easy to fall in negativity.
Pero cuando estamos con muchas dificultades y no es momento de discutir o de enfadarse, ¿no? No sabemos qué hacer, ¿no? Ahora mismo en la actualidad a nivel mundial no sabemos qué hacer para la inmunidad, si vacunarnos o no, ahora si van a aparecer nuevas enfermedades o no, ahora todos son preocupaciones, ¿no? Pero con todas estas preocupaciones lo que no debemos hacer es caer en la negatividad.
Yeah, now at this situation, at this point, people don't have a faith. I mean, people don't say that, but inside, people have lost faith. They don't trust any medical advice. They don't trust any advice of any pharmaceutical or any medical person. They go because they are forced to go.
En este punto la gente no tiene fe o no cree en los consejos médicos, no van porque están obligados a ir, pero no porque confíen en ellos.
So also all our sources of information, they have discredited themselves for long, and now more. We don't believe in any information from any media or any publication.
Entonces nuestros recursos se han desacreditado más también y tampoco creemos en ningún medio.
So it's like we have been promised a very nice El Dorado, and these guides took us in a mountain and abandoned us. So if you're lost in a thick forested mountain, it's not a time to enter into polemics or to start doing things impulsively. It needs a very good calm thinking and have a good strategy, because it may be fault of your friend, or it may be fault of the company that promised you good trip. But now that is not the point to discuss. Now the point is to get down from the mountain, get out of the forest in right time. And that needs calm thinking, analysis, and taking proper action.
Ok, nuestros recursos nos han prometido, es como que nos han prometido el dorado, ¿no? Y nos han llevado a una montaña y nos han abandonado en un bosque, en una montaña con un bosque tupido, ¿no? Y entonces en este momento no es momento de entrar en polémica, es necesario diseñar una estrategia que nos ayude a salir de ahí. Para eso, en este punto lo que necesitamos es tener un pensamiento calmado, una capacidad de análisis y la capacidad de tomar la decisión.
So the emotions will come, the anger will come. These are natural reactions because we are upset because something bad has been played upon us. But no, emotions should not take hold on us. So there, equanimity is very, very important. Calmness is very important.
Las emociones surgen, ¿no? Pero no debemos aferrarnos o no debemos engancharnos a ellas, sino que debemos poseer tranquilidad, ecuanimidad, calma.
That's why when 2 years ago, when we talked, we were discussing our advice of Ayurveda. The first advice is Kshama Dhamma Titiksha. What means to fight the pandemic situation, instead of talking about any vaccine or any herb, they say you should have patience. You should have a readiness to follow the discipline. You should have a readiness to be continuing to do whatever sacrifices are needed, how long they are needed. You should be ready. Otherwise, when you lose the patience, you go out, you contract the virus, you suffer.
Para luchar contra la pandemia lo que se tiene que tener es paciencia, estar listo y preparado para seguir una disciplina y para hacer los sacrificios que sean necesarios durante el tiempo que sea necesario. Porque si pierdes la paciencia, entonces vas a salir fuera, vas a contraer el virus.
So now in this way, we are here, we don't know whether we should go for these interminable repetitions of the vaccines or any medicines or any vitamins or any other magic cures that will be coming. Or should we not try to regain our heritage, regain our human ancestry of being strong, of our natural immunity, of being strong, of our natural strength? And that is where I think yoga answers many questions, which I would like to share with you.
De esta forma no sabemos si debemos seguir continuando con esas interminables vacunaciones o curar imaginarias nuevas o imaginarias nuevas enfermedades, o recuperar, en lugar de eso, enfocarnos en recuperar nuestra fortaleza y nuestra inmunidad natural, nuestro poder y nuestra fuerza interior. Y para esto, el yoga tiene la respuesta.
You see, this type of yogis, these are sub-zero temperatures. They are not their pilgrimage, they're staying there. Nothing grows there. They eat hardly once or twice in a week. They eat very simple foods of natural roots and fruits that are available there. They take bath in this icy water. Still, you see their body, how strong they are. There is no fat accumulation. There is no any disease. They don't suffer and they live for longer. What more we want?
Si os fijáis en estos yogis que están en los Himalayas, no están ahí de peregrinaje, viven allí. Comen están a 0 grados y viven allí con la ropa que estáis viendo. Comen 1 o 2 veces a la semana. Comen las raíces naturales, se bañan en el agua helada. No tienen ni una gota de grasa y sin embargo no tienen tampoco ni enfermedades. Están allí estables, tienen un cuerpo muy fuerte.
Don't start trembling with the fear of the cold in this summer. Okay, I'm not suggesting we all go to Himalayas and live like them. Absolutely not. Please don't misunderstand.
No, no os confundáis, que no os está sugiriendo que vayáis a vivir en los Himalayas.
There is thousands of years, at least known to us, the tradition of this kind of yogis who are very strong, long living, and with all their senses intact.
Conocemos a muchos de estos yogis que han estado viviendo allí durante muchos años y que tienen todos sus sentidos intactos. De hecho, son longevos.
Yeah, we have seen, Ekata has seen, and many of our students have seen, Baba, especially Ramdev Baba now, he's a living example. He doesn't eat any cereals. He takes only one cup of milk and one fruit in the morning. And the evening, wherever he finishes, he takes one milk if it is available, otherwise water.
Conocemos algunos yogis, ¿no? Como Baba Ramdev, él toma un vaso de leche y una fruta, no toma ni un solo cereal. Y en la noche igual, si puede y hay, toma un vaso de leche, pero no come nada más.
So we don't have to go to that level, don't worry.
No os preocupéis que no hay que llegar a este nivel, ¿eh?
But we can look at what yoga has to offer to at least get a 10% of that or 5% of that should be sufficient for us.
Podemos ver qué ofrece el yoga, ¿no? Y con ese 10% podemos obtener muchísimo.
So one thing is that a regular yoga practice, we all know, is helpful for mental, physical, spiritual health, and it has many benefits. I'm not going into details.
Sabéis que la práctica del yoga tiene muchos beneficios a nivel mental, físico y espiritual y no va a ir en detalles.
I will just concentrate on this citation from Yoga Pratipika, that is Yuktahar Viharasya Yukta Karma Chesteshu Yukta Swapnava Bodhasya Yogo Bhavati Dukkhaha. About yoga, only going 2 days in one class of yoga is not called yoga. Yoga is a classical yoga. And this yoga, along with, there are certain norms that you have to follow with the yoga. Along with, so here that is the rule that the Yoga Pradipika is giving, is that yoga is combined, when it is combined with proper equilibrium between diet and activity. So proper diet, proper activity. I'm not going into details of this. So some part of diet I will talk. Diet and activity. Good diet, regular diet, mitahar, that is a moderate diet. Good activity, that is a very strong physical activity, but not in excess, not sedentary. Okay, so it is equilibrium.
Solo yendo 2 días a una clase de yoga no es de lo que se trata, ¿no? En los textos clásicos lo que se pide es que haya unas ciertas normas, ¿no? Que se deben seguir. Y es que el yoga se debe combinar con dieta y con actividad. ¿Vale? La dieta debe ser regular, moderada, y la actividad debe ser adecuada, no debe ser ni excesiva ni sedentaria, ni por exceso ni por defecto.
And the second rule is Yukta Karma Chesteshu. Means whatever is your vocation, whatever is karma you are doing for your own dharma, artha, kama, moksha, that is all objectives of your life. You may be in economical activity, you do something for your spiritual activity, for your family life, etc., etc. Whatever you are doing, they should be equilibrated with positive mind, with total understanding, and with proper sensory motor activity, chesta and karma. Effort and your karma has to be balanced.
Ok. Cualquiera que sea el karma, la actividad que tú hagas en tu vida diaria, seas economista, sea cual sea el trabajo que tú haces o la actividad que tú hagas en tu vida habitual, debe ser equilibrada con una mente positiva, con comprensión y con una actividad sensorial, perdón, y motora equilibrada.
Yukta Swapnava Bodhasya, the last one, is optimum or good balance between sleep, that is rest, sensorial rest, brain rest, neurological rest is sleep, proper sleep. Sleep, that is swapna, avabodh, that is awakened state.
También tiene que haber un óptimo equilibrio entre el estado de sueño y el estado de estar despierto.
Okay, so you should be also following the rules of sleep and awakening. You should not be sleeping during the day, should not be not sleeping in the night because it's not proper. So this is how you live the life according to nature's rhythm. You get your lifestyle harmonized with the nature's rhythm.
Se deben seguir las normas de dormir y de despertarse de forma que se viva una vida armoniosa con la naturaleza, con el entorno.
Not having good sleep, not having enough sleep, not having a very refreshing, restful sleep is a disease of civilizational progress. We call ourselves progressed civilization, but we have this kind of problems with that.
No dormir bien o no descansar es una enfermedad de la civilización.
Okay, and this is now well known that not sleeping, the people who don't sleep, for example, people who work in the hospitals or in the police, they have, when they don't sleep in that time, when they have a night work, their all immune parameters are down.
Y también es bien conocido, ¿no?, que también la gente que trabaja de noche, los enfermeros, policías o gente que trabaja de noche, su estado inmunológico disminuye.
They have very high level of inflammatory markers. They have very high level of cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone.
Tienen los niveles inflamatorios más elevados y también tienen el cortisol elevado. El cortisol es una hormona de estrés.
And they have a very high incidence of degeneration of tissues like blood vessels, joints, bones, teeth. They degenerate faster.
Y tienen una mayor incidencia de degeneración de los tejidos, de huesos, de dientes, etc.
So we know that these are the bad effects of not having good sleep. Also, sleep during the day causes another problems. We are not going to that details. We have talked hundreds of times. But if you are able to maintain and harmonize your daily activity of working in a proper time for proper length of time, and then also taking detachment and retiring for meditation, relaxation, and good sleep in the night time, as the nature wants, as the natural plan is there, then you are in harmony with your own nature. If that balance is there, that equilibrium is there, then they say yogo bhavati dukkha, means yoga becomes, then that practice of yoga becomes eliminator of all the sufferings.
También el no dormir o también el dormir durante el día, que ya lo he comentado muchas veces y no va a incidir más. Armonizar la actividad diaria y meditar y dormir bien es, además de seguir la naturaleza y seguir una buena dieta, es lo que va a ayudarte, lo que va a hacer que se pueda eliminar el sufrimiento.
So this is what yoga says, and this is what Ayurveda also says. Ahar nidra brahmacharya trayamiti tridandavat. Following good diet, following good sleep, it means also rest, and the rest for the motor organs, sensory organs, and brahmacharya, the control of the senses, positive mental attitude, positive, harmonious, peaceful mental disposition. All these are supports of life. If they are there, your life is supported. Like a house is supported on the pillars.
Es seguir una buena dieta, un buen descanso y un control de los sentidos, tener una mentalidad positiva, una mentalidad calmada y armoniosa. Todo esto es lo que supone los tres pilares de una vida. Del mismo modo que estos tres pilares sostienen una casa, sostienen nuestra vida.
What this pandemic has showed us is that people have a lot of bad immunity. What means bad immunity is when we have to fight the disease or virus, we are paralyzed. We don't fight, we fall sick. But our body, with a small stimulation, is reacting against our own tissues, creating endogenous inflammation in a very high level.
La pandemia nos ha mostrado una mala inmunidad, ¿no? En el momento en el que hay una infección no se produce una lucha, sin embargo nuestro cuerpo reacciona sobre nuestros propios tejidos produciendo una alta reacción inflamatoria.
So this inflammatory state was the cause of death and damage in COVID, more than the virus. Virus did not kill many people. In fact, you can say that virus did not kill at all because virus goes out after 14 days. 14 days, everybody's body clears the virus. It goes out of the body. But as a reaction to that, body starts this inflammatory reaction. And that inflammatory reaction was so high, especially in Occidental population, the most advanced population with most advanced medical infrastructure. They died, they suffered because most of the people, 99% of the people had a highly reactive immunity, and that finally killed them.
Este estado hiperinflamatorio era realmente lo que ha generado más muertes. El virus en realidad a los 14 días se desaparecía del cuerpo y se iba, pero lo que había llegado a producir las muertes, tantas muertes, ha sido esa elevada reacción inflamatoria que se producía sobre todo en la población occidental, en aquellos precisamente en aquellas zonas en las que hay una mayor infraestructura médica.
For me, that is a very important lesson we must carry from this, is that all of us as a civilization are doing something that is stimulating our immunity in a wrong way.
Esta es una lección muy importante que todos nosotros debemos aprender, que es que estamos haciendo algo que hace que nuestra inmunidad no esté reaccionando bien, esté reaccionando de esta forma.
So one of the things that I see around, and many people, they agree, is that we are, especially after World War II, we are eating progressively industrialized food, which is of horrible quality, which is causing a lot of reactions in the body. People are suffering, increasing amount of people are suffering from the colitis, from diabetes, from heart disease, from obesity, and all sorts of slow metabolism, thyroid problems, autoimmune diseases, arthritis, asthma. All this I can correlate with this explosion of industrial food.
Sobre todo después de la Segunda Guerra Mundial, con la industrialización de la comida, que tiene muy mala calidad, se están viendo cada vez más reacciones de colitis, de diabetes mellitus, de obesidad, de problemas de tiroides, de trastornos autoinmunes, de asma, etc.
So and added to that is our lifestyle.
Y a esto hay que añadirle nuestro estilo de vida y la deprivación del sueño. Sorry.
Our nutrition is wrong. The gross nutrition, physical nutrition in terms of food, our subtle nutrition in terms of how we live, so much competition, so much insecurity, stress, jealousy, insatisfaction, all these emotions of negativity, lack of love, the true love, lack of human touch, compassion, all these values are disappearing, and we are being nourished on violence, psychological violence, physical violence, all sorts of negative emotions are going on. And this subtly is contaminating our interiority. So on gross level, physical level, on subtle level, along with pollution, along with thought pollution, along with bad lifestyle, all this has combined to create a very explosive mix inside us. And this is what this pandemic has brought out, that how weak we are.
La nutrición errónea, no solo a nivel de alimentación, sino también a nivel de sutil, ¿no? Nos nutrimos con competición, con celos, con insatisfacción. Todas estas emociones, más la pérdida de compasión y de amor, nos nutrimos de violencia física y de violencia psicológica. Y esto situalmente también está afectando nuestra interioridad. Entonces, toda esta afectación a nivel sutil, a nivel burdo, grosero de la alimentación, la polución, el mal estilo de vida, todo esto ha acabado siendo una combinación explosiva que lo que ha hecho es que ha mostrado en este periodo de pandemia que realmente somos muy débiles.
Falta de santosha.
Falta de contentamiento.
The lack of contentness. Santosha is a yogic quality advised by yoga and all the philosophies. We should be content. Now nobody's content. Everybody is manipulated by this overt and subliminal advertisement. The ideals are created. Nobody is happy with nothing. You should have if you have something, you should have the latest model. If you have everything should be latest, everything should be of a high level. So nobody is really satisfied with what they have. So we are living a perpetually unsatisfied, unhappy life in a subtle manner.
Vivimos a nivel sutil en un estado de insatisfacción total, ¿no? Porque estamos siempre con esa manipulación sutil y todas esas ideas subliminales nos hacen vivir una situación de constante insatisfacción.
So all these subtle toxins, they create a mind or the nervous system that is very agitated, not rested, also physically not rested, also were not well nourished. So all these, if you provide this kind of virus or something, it starts having a very bad, like a very badly trained police or very badly trained military is given the task of protecting the country. And when the enemy attacks, instead of fighting with the enemy, they start shooting our own citizens. This is what has happened.
Con toda esta manipulación, con las ideas subliminales, las toxinas sutiles, no estamos bien nutridos, ¿no? Y el virus es como si hubiese entrado en un organismo en el que la inmunidad, que serían, por así decirlo, los militares, fuesen los peores. Y cuando recibe el ataque, en vez de atacar al enemigo, ataca a sus propios habitantes.
Not having good breathing, not having good activity, sedentarism, overeating, lot of sugars, etc., chocolate, all these things, they interfere with the purificatory processes that are carried out by apanavayu. Elimination doesn't happen. We are all accumulating, mentally accumulating, sensorially accumulating, physically accumulating.
El sedentarismo y toda la alimentación de que se hace, ¿no? Las azúcares, el chocolate, etcétera. Todo esto lo que hace es que interfiere con apanavayu y entonces no se produce una eliminación ni de los procesos, ni de las sustancias metabólicas, ni de las emociones. Todo queda acumulado. Estamos en situación de acumulación constante.
So naturally, everybody is with over excess accumulation or toxin accumulation that create blocks and different diseases. So we should search for periodical purification. We should search to keep our channels free of toxins so that prana, which is the real power which runs all the creation, will help us.
Todos estos, con estos bloqueos lo que tenemos que hacer es buscar purificaciones periódicas para liberarnos de toxinas, para que el prana pueda circular, el prana que es lo que controla y domina todo el mundo.
So for that purpose, I have little bit put some satmya. Satmya means that which is compatible as advised by Ayurveda, and how the yogis eat, what they eat. They are so strong, they are living longer, their skin is so resplendent, there is no fat, there are no diseases. What they eat very simple food. So some of the foods are yogic foods. I said yogi diet, which is totally compatible diet. You know, all these things you can see. Mostly they eat roots and fruits. So you see roots and fruits are these. So I have added little bit enlarged what is available for, not available in the mountains, but available to us. So we have a more choice. So don't worry. These kind of fruits like Triphala, Amla, Hardabeda, Harizaki, Bilwa. Then the green vegetables of different kinds, gourds, especially dudhi. You see there is a dudhi, this green color gourd, which is dudhi or bottle gourd, which is very good to reduce the fat from abdominal fat and to reduce the cholesterol. If you eat daily, this is a very good. Then another thing is, which is not shown here, is bitter gourd. Okay, so all sorts of vegetables are there, but if you don't find these, you can eat the greens. A very good percentage of the greens should be present in the diet, and sugar has to be eliminated.
En nuestra dieta, si los yogis habla de la dieta yogica, que sería una alimentación más compatible, hay raíces y frutas, las raíces las hemos dado antes y las frutas también, y a nivel de verduras, una de las verduras que es muy recomendable, por ejemplo, es el dudi, que el dudi reduce la grasa abdominal y el colesterol, y otra de la que, y las calabazas también son muy recomendables, y otra de las que no está aquí dibujada, pero que es la canela, el pepino amargo, por así decirlo.
Then the whole grains, try to eat whole grains like red rice, oats, barley, jowar, bajra, ragi. Then
Después,
legumes.
cereales integrales, legumbres.
Okay, so these legumes, they compared with normal bread in a trial, and these cereals like barley, pearl millet, oats, when they were used, and ragi, they reduce the type 2 diabetes, they reduce the cholesterol, they normalize the blood sugar in 6 weeks, and it has a good effect on body's sensitivity to the insulin. Insulin everybody makes, but in diabetes, this insulin is not effective. Even if it is present, sometimes in higher levels than normal, it is not effective. So this efficacy in this diet is increased.
Estos cereales como la cebada, el mijo, el ragi, se ha comprobado que reducen la diabetes mellitus, el colesterol, y que son capaces de nivelar los niveles de azúcar en 6 semanas, porque se produce una disminución de la resistencia a la insulina. Okay.
Then enough amount of water. Flowing water means water that is dynamic. Okay, so yogis, they drink water from the streams, mountain streams, etc. So if you cannot take, if you don't have, you are staying in the city, so you better boil the water and use that water.
El agua, ¿no? Ha marcado el agua dinámica. Agua, el agua que beben los yogis es un agua que está en movimiento. Entonces, si no puedes si no puedes conseguir este agua, por lo menos que sea agua hervida.
So you see, in yoga benefits, it said it eliminates the dukkha. What is dukkha? Dukkha means any suffering. So basically, our concept that yoga is only for moksha or nirvana, but yoga is all the dukkha. So what is the dukkha? Dukkha means suffering, basically. Suffering is 3 types. That is tapa. Tapa means tapatre vinashaya Shri Krishnaya vayam nama. this kind of in Bhagavata that is there. It means three types of sufferings are there. One is physical suffering, that is diseases, age, weakness, etc., or any problems in the body, maybe congenital or later on by the disease. Then mental, spiritual, depression, anxiety, stress, worries, etc., etc. And third is spiritual suffering. So when they say yoga is eliminating dukkha, it means all the three levels yoga is helping.
El yoga libera de todos los tres tipos de sufrimiento, ¿no? No solo hablamos de la liberación, sino que hablamos de la liberación de todo sufrimiento. Y esos tres sufrimientos que se consideran los sufrimientos físicos, como serían cualquier tipo de enfermedad física, como una enfermedad congénita, el envejecimiento, problemas corporales, etc. A nivel mental, eliminaría todas las preocupaciones, estrés, todos los problemas o trastornos mentales, y después también a nivel espiritual.
So it seems that it is somebody is doing hyperbole or exaggerating. So is it true that we can ask, is it true that yoga can be so effective also for all the three types? We knew that maybe in some yogis and some particular people, they study yoga and they become very spiritual, but it's not for me. I follow my own lifestyle.
¿No? Puede ser verdad, es cierto todo esto, ¿no? Porque algunos yogis no es como que yo sigo mi propio camino o yo hago mi propia práctica y ya está, ¿no?
So let us see how much truth is there.
Vamos a ver cuánta verdad hay ahí.
Okay, so I will talk only on the classical yoga, not any other type. So yoga is only one, other things are marketing. So yoga path is of 8 paths, I'm not going to this thing, but what happens is that mostly in the West, what is known is a hatha yoga. Okay, now just take an example of hatha yoga. What happens is that these yogic asanas, positions, they involve rhythmic regular movements in coordination with breathing. Okay, so one is voluntary act, another is involuntary act, and they are coordinated. So there are two different parts of the nervous system. Remember, one is autonomic and another is central nervous system.
Va a hablar del yoga clásico, ¿no? Todo lo que se considera del yoga clásico que se habla habitualmente, todo lo demás es marketing, ¿no? Yoga solo hay uno. De los 8 pasos los va a comentar así, pero no los va a comentar, pero bueno, en Occidente se conoce el Hatha Yoga, ¿no? Y estas posiciones de yoga lo que hacen es que te hacen coordinar movimientos regulares con la respiración, de forma que te obligan a regular los movimientos voluntarios con los involuntarios, por lo que estás regulando dos aspectos neurológicos, el autónomo y el sistema nervioso central.
So this is start just doing some asanas, even if you don't meditate, don't light one incense, don't think of any god. Yoga doesn't ask any faith in any god. Yoga wants you have faith in yourselves, to look inside yourself and practice regularly. If you practice regularly, even a small period of 8 weeks, you see so many benefits that your voluntary brain, where you have a control, like movement of the hands, and your involuntary brain, like heart, working of the intestine, working of the endocrine glands, all these things, respiration, all these, they start getting coordinated. Means what? Means what you are thinking, what you are talking, what you are trying to do volitionally is getting coordinatedly acted upon also on the parts which are independent of your volitional control. This is very, very deep.
Ok. Sí, Solo hablamos de asanas, ¿no? No hablamos de que tengas que encender un incienso y tengas que adorar a Dios o a una divinidad, etcétera. El yoga no busca que tú tengas ninguna creencia en nadie, sino que busca que tengas fe en ti mismo y que hagas una práctica regular. En 8 semanas ves muchos beneficios, ¿no? Porque todos los movimientos voluntarios y los movimientos involuntarios, como la respiración, los movimientos intestinales, movimiento cardíaco, etcétera, todo esto se coordina. Por lo que piensas, lo que hablas y lo que haces voluntariamente está en constante coordinación, ¿no? Con lo que todas esas cosas que estarían fuera de tu control están en control.
So these kind of repeated rhythmic movements, which are organized according to their energy flow and activation of our energy centers, what they do is they increase the integrity in the nervous system. Okay, one is autonomic, another is central nervous. One is sympathetic, another is parasympathetic. You know, there are two types of parts of our nervous system. Sympathetic is on alert, which is activated when you are alert or when you are under stress, when you have to fight, flight. This is a stimulating part, okay, which we are already having overuse. Another is parasympathetic, which is calm and quiet analysis. You are at rest, you are not hyper excited. So your body is forming memory, your body is reflecting, your mind is reflecting, your heart is relaxed. So this is the parasympathetic drive. In parasympathetic mode is preferable because you are calm and quiet, you are stable, you don't suffer, you make a spiritual, neurological, psychological progress.
Ok. Estos movimientos, ritmos y la activación de los centros aumenta esta integridad entre los dos sistemas, ¿no? Entre el sistema simpático y el parasimpático. El sistema simpático es el de la activación, es el que habitualmente tenemos ya como sobreestimulado y que ya tenemos en exceso, ¿no? Es la activación, el estrés, la estimulación, mientras que el parasimpático es el que se produce calma, se produce generación de memoria, reflexión, el corazón está relajado. Esta estimulación parasimpática es preferible porque se proporciona estabilidad y se puede producir un progreso no solo a nivel neurológico, sino también un proceso de crecimiento a nivel espiritual. Yes.
So this, sorry.
Yeah, continue.
So this equilibrium in the nervous system, it is coming from the effect as an effect of these movements, you know, the rhythmic movements, slow rhythmic movements with breath control. They stimulate the cortical tracts. There are nervous channels. They come from all over the body through the spine. That is, you can say Kundalini, Sushumna, Ida Pingala. They are coming up and going into the brain, and where they are joining into a part of brain which is center of the brain, this is basal ganglia, which is responsible for emotional well-being, emotional responses, old memories. Okay, and all this is having effect on our part of a brain which is called hippocampus, which is responsible for our mental stability, optimism, confidence, emotional integrity, emotional well-being. So when these things are activated, and I will show you later on that how practice of yoga even increases the density of the neurons, new neurons are formed in some of these areas. So this helps in memory, in equilibrium, in activation of parasympathetic. Parasympathetic means you are under control. You are not worried. You are not under stress. Your adrenaline is not being secreted. You are confident. Very short, Ekta.
Yeah, I know.
And very simple.
Very simple. Este equilibrio en el sistema nervioso viene dado como efecto de estos movimientos rítmicos, ¿no? Que se produce una estimulación y esta estimulación va subiendo por todo lo que sería la columna, por la zona del Kundalini y llega a la parte del cerebro que sería responsable del bienestar emocional y actúa sobre el hipocampo que también es responsable del optimismo, del bienestar emocional, del bienestar del bienestar en todos los niveles, ¿no? Y también después veremos cómo esa práctica del yoga aumenta la densidad neuronal en algunas áreas y de esta forma no solo mejoras a nivel del estado neurológico, sino también estás sin estrés, estás más seguro. Okay.
So this makes our nervous system rich in the positive neurotransmitters that makes person optimistic, enthusiastic, creative, increases memory performance, increases spatial orientation, which is a special kind of a three-dimensional memory conceptualization, increases the physical balance and strength. The grip strength of yoga practitioners in 8 weeks goes up by 37%. Okay, and it gives a person calm mental stability.
Ok, esto enriquece el sistema nervioso, genera optimismo, entusiasmo, mejora la memoria, mejora la orientación espacial, que sería como una memoria a nivel tridimensional. Con una práctica de 8 semanas hay un aumento, una mejora en un 37% en una persona, generando calma mental y estabilidad mental.
You see, our brain is continuously connected. Our nervous system is connected with all the parts of the body, right? So our posture, how you are sitting, and how you are moving, all this is continuously giving feedback to the brain. So some postures are positive, you know, some positions are positive, some movements give a positive feedback to the brain. So that is what yoga uses. So doing this repetitive repetitions of hatha yoga, and they are arranged in a way that, you know, like sometimes you bend to other side, some another side, then you breathe in coordination with that. So what happens that there is we call left brain and the right brain. So these coordination between left and right, because left brain and right brain have two different behaviors. One is very calculated, mathematic, scientific. Another is very romantic, very ideation, creative, artistic, you know. So all this becomes personality equilibrated.
El cerebro está conectado, ¿no? Y cómo está, depende de cómo estemos sentados o cuál sea nuestra postura, esta información se transmite al cerebro. Y esto es lo que el yoga utiliza, ¿no? Busca utilizar esa postura para transmitirle al cerebro, y también se produce un equilibrio, porque normalmente hay posiciones que están hacia un lado derecho, después hacia el izquierdo, y esto lo que hace es que estabiliza ambos lados del cerebro, el cerebro derecho e izquierdo, porque uno es calculador y científico, mientras que el otro es más romántico, más ideación, más creatividad, etc.
Also, they were so so intelligent for that time. You see, there are certain yoga practices like Trataka. Okay, so yoga uses, you have to watch, concentrate on a flame, and then this practice goes on. You concentrate, close eyes, concentrate, try to hold that image when eyes are closed. So concentrating that is input. You know, it is called, a technical name is afferent. The input is going, you are using a pathway of a brain that is using the nerves, which take information inside. And then at certain point of a time, your eyes start watering as an effect of that concentrating practice of Trataka. When that happens, you have to stop the practice. But you know, like then this activates the other part, and this causes another pathway, that is outgoing pathway, you know, the output pathway, which is called efferent, you know, which is from brain to the body parts. So it gives signals, no? It creates one arc by these simple practices. What happens is, the result is that your both parts, afferent, efferent, sympathetic, parasympathetic, central nervous system, and peripheral, all these are activated and equilibrated. So as an intelligent human being, intelligent organism, your nervous system is getting good exercise. Your nervous system is getting activated and using its reserves.
Ok. Cuando ciertas prácticas de yoga, como el tátraka, ¿no? Que estás concentrado mirando una llama y entonces intentas retener la imagen y mantener la imagen con los ojos cerrados, ¿no? En este caso lo que estás utilizando es el camino del cerebro que lleva la información y llega un momento en el que los ojos empiezan a lagrimear, a llorar. Entonces es cuando paras la actividad. Pero aquí lo que se está generando es que hay como un camino también de salida, ¿no? Se da un camino aferente y eferente con esta simple práctica, ¿no? De esta forma, el sistema simpático y el parasimpático, el sistema nervioso central y el periférico se equilibran y se genera un organismo inteligente que proporciona un equilibrio y una fortaleza.
So you see that it has been shown that yoga practice has increased, has slowed down the memory loss, improved the cognition in people who had a dementia, people who had a marginal dementia. So even at that advanced stage, you know, it increases the capacity of nervous system, and more intelligent capacity, more the organism is fit to live, more the organism will live longer.
Mejoras ahí con una práctica de yoga. Se ha visto que mejora la cognición y mejora también la memoria en personas, incluso en personas que están teniendo pérdidas de memoria. Eso implica que con una mayor capacidad intelectual, los órganos estarán como más, la persona podrá vivir más tiempo.
So one of the benefits of Hatha Yoga, that yoga, Purasya Darde Yogasya Siddhi, means what? Pura means city. But here they're talking about the city of soul. Soul lives in a city of body. Body is a city with 9 gates. More description in the yoga books you will find. So this city, that is Purasya Darde, city becomes strong. The Atma, the home of the soul or Atma's residence becomes very, very strong. Physically strong, resistance to time, heat, cold, sun, aging, everything. So it is very strong and very flexible, very capable. At the same time, nervous system stronger. So this is what they have described, that practicing Hatha Yoga gives enormous strength and flexibility to the body.
Okay. Se considera que en el eslogan que comentaba que el alma habita habita en una ciudad que sería nuestro cuerpo con 9 puertas. La ciudad, que sería nuestro cuerpo, con esta práctica de yoga es más fuerte, mejora la resistencia, por lo que el alma está habitando en una ciudad con más fortaleza, ¿no? Que es capaz de resistir al frío, al viento, a las diferentes inclemencias, al envejecimiento, y también tiene la capacidad de tener un sistema nervioso más fuerte. Y hay estudios que demuestran que se aumenta la fortaleza y la flexibilidad del cuerpo con una práctica de yoga.
So this instrument, the body is instrument of soul, because soul has to experience the karma and during the life. So during the life, Atma needs the instrument, and that's why we get this body due to our karma. So this instrument becomes of highly energetic, highly physically strong, capable instrument. And with this, then it is your choice to do a very good karma, to dilute your past karma and to create better karma for the future. Sorry for my test.
El cuerpo es el instrumento del alma, ¿no? Y durante la vida necesitamos este instrumento, que ese instrumento sea energético, sea fuerte y sea capaz para poder tener una vida larga y diluir el karma pasado y crear un nuevo karma mejor.
This is then you can see how we can believe you. So it is, there are many studies. I can give you minimum 20 references on this. This is a preventive cardiology, is very, very respected journal of Cardiological Society of America. This is a study published where 10-minute pranayama, 15-minute yogic warm-up that Babaji does, and 50 minutes asanas, and then shavasana for 10 minutes. In 8 weeks, what happened? It increased the strength. You know, they tested muscular strength at certain point. For example, knee, elbows, you know, because there you can measure the how the muscle pressure and strength is there. So elbow extension, elbow flexion, this knee extension, it increased in 8 weeks by 31%, and 28% and 19% in 8 weeks. That is a big jump for a muscular strength. We are not talking about soul, nirvana, moksha. This is body. Okay. Then it increased isometric muscular endurance. Okay. So endurance of muscles increased by 57%. 57% in 8 weeks. Then another parameter is you see the ankle flexibility, then shoulder elevation. Okay. Shoulder elevation, trunk extension, and trunk flexion. Extension means you go this and then you go down. This is flexion. This increased by shoulder elevation by 155%. Trunk extension and trunk flexion by 188%.
Okay.
This is only physical. This is nothing talking about the heart and compassion and the life and death and karma. This is the effect of yoga practice on body tissues.
Este es un artículo de la revista de Prevención en Cardiología, que es una revista americana, y está hablando solamente de lo que sería, no está hablando de nada más que de los aspectos físicos, de una práctica de los beneficios físicos, sin más, de una práctica de 10 minutos de pranayama, 15 minutos de calentamiento, 50 minutos de asanas y 10 minutos de shavasana durante 8 semanas. Esto lo que hizo es que mejoró la fortaleza muscular y la extensión y flexión de los codos y de las rodillas, que fueron los parámetros que miraron. También habló de un aumento de la resistencia muscular para la flexión de la rodilla, y también miraron cuál era la flexión, la flexibilidad en la elevación de los hombros y la flexión y extensión del tronco. Si os fijáis, los datos son realmente marcan una cierta diferencia. Y no estamos hablando de nirvana ni de moksha, ¿no? Sino estamos hablando solo del cuerpo y de la resistencia muscular. Okay.
So this is that, but what we observe is that every person, as the weeks goes by, not only improves in these physical parameters, but also cognitive parameters, neurological parameters, mental stability, optimism, etc.
Y cada persona no solo mejora a nivel cognitivo y neurológico, sino también mejoran a nivel de mentalidad, etc.
So traditionally, what is described as, asanas increase muscle strength and stability. Even asanas have effect on the mental stability. Then the pranayama, which is the most important, talked after this thing, because prana is one which is controlling all the universe. The energy that moves galaxies, planets, and all other universe is energy of prana. Same way, whatever happening in one cell or neurology or muscles or wherever, okay, it is coming from the energy, but all this energy is finally manifestation of prana. So there is a cosmic prana, there is an individual prana.
Hablamos de un prana cósmico y de un prana individual, ¿no? Porque este prana cósmico es el que moviliza absolutamente todo y también moviliza todo dentro de nosotros.
So this yogic tradition use this knowledge of prana, if the importance of prana, and they develop the technique by knowing by their intense intense concentration methods, intense sadhana. They found out that the prana is one. So controlling prana, you control the body physiology. Controlling prana, you control your mind, because chale vate chale chittam. When the prana is irregular and flowing anywhere here and there, when vata is not controlled, your mind is not controlled, it is divided. It is weak mind. It cannot be focused. Nishchale nishchalam bhave. But when, with the practice of pranayama, you are able to control and channelize this prana, the mind becomes focused. Mind becomes non-agitated, calm and stable.
La importancia del prana, ¿no?, es que desarrolla es una parte de que se debe desarrollar para una intensa sadhana. El prana, en primer lugar, si controlas ese prana, puedes llegar a controlar la fisiología corporal y también la mental. Con la práctica del pranayama, la mente se queda callada, se queda estable, mientras que cuando controlas la mente, entonces también el cuerpo se controla.
And with this, the metabolism changes so much that sthanutvam apnoti, yogi sthanutvam apnoti, yogi reaches a stable stage where mind is stable, metabolism is stable, physics is stable. You see that their aging becomes so slow. That's why he says, tato vayu nirodhayat. Therefore, after practicing Hatha Yoga, you go for control of the prana with the help of pranayama.
Con todo esto el metabolismo cambia, ¿no? Y el practicante de yoga consigue tener una mente estable y un metabolismo también estable y un cuerpo también más estable. Entonces, después de la práctica del yoga, es por eso por lo que se dice que se tiene que ir a la práctica del pranayama para controlar el prana.
So this helps in people who are having anxiety, stress, worry, depression, bipolarity. It gives mind stability, focus, knowledge, illumination. Because this mind, when it is stable and really calm and quiet, it reflects, it becomes clear like a glass, and it reflects the reality of soul, Atman, which is deep inside. And then with the power of soul, no mental modification can survive. It's like mental modification of depression, negativity is like a darkness. And opening the window of soul is like lighting a matchstick. Once you have one small flame, even the house or the place might have been closed for thousands of years. So it is said, Sant said, that Ramakrishna said, the darkness may be of thousands of years old. It just takes 1 second. If you light a lamp, in 1 second, this darkness is destroyed of thousands of years. That is the beauty of this kind of illumination by controlling prana, and through prana, controlling the mental cognitive processes.
Todo esto ayuda en la ansiedad, en el estrés, en las preocupaciones, en la bipolaridad. Todo este conocimiento hace que se produzca un foco inmediato, una iluminación de la mente, ¿no? Y la mente lo que hace es que refleja la realidad del alma y puede soportar entonces todas las modificaciones mentales que se puedan sobrevivir, ¿no? Es como si hubiese una habitación oscura, cerrada durante cientos de años, pero se dice que una pequeña llama puede eliminar en un segundo toda la oscuridad que haya habido durante cientos de años.
So, as at the old knowledge of neurology, they knew that left brain is different, right brain is different, and these nasahi shirshodwaram, the nose is a gateway of approach to the brain, they knew. So having, and you know that when we practice the pranayama, left pranayama, right pranayama, or alternate pranayama, this alternately stimulates our hippocampus. That has been studied. And it has the effect on this kind of functionality of left brain and right brain.
La nariz es la puerta del cerebro, ¿no? Y hay estudios que muestran que se produce en la respiración alternada una estimulación del hipocampo en diferentes aspectos, que estos son los que tenéis aquí escritos.
So there are Basrika, Basrika reduces the overstimulation of sympathetic, that is the stress producing nervous system. And that's why it brings down the effect of the adrenaline. It reduces the anxiety, it calms the heart rate, it calms the blood pressure, and it gives a calmness to the mind and the brain.
Este es alguno de los beneficios del pranayama, que este tipo de respiración lo que hace es que disminuye la estimulación del sistema simpático y disminuye el efecto de la adrenalina. Entonces calma la tensión arterial, calma la mente y mejora.
It improves, it relaxes all the channels and the circulation. So reduces the contraction in our channels. When the channels are open and relaxed, the drainage happens, and then body naturally, without any help of any medicine, body starts purifying, body start eliminating all the accumulation, old accumulation.
Disminuye la contracción en los canales y se produce un drenaje natural, de forma que el organismo es capaz de eliminar todos los productos de desecho.
Kapalabhati, which is a rapid fire respiration, like 60 per minute, 60 to 120 breaths per minute, like, okay. So this kind of a breathing, like you take deep breathing and then you exhale by deep exhalation. At the end of the exhalation, you have to contract the abdomen inside. So this is very, very powerful. You need a practice for that. You need to have a certain efficiency, but once in 3 to 4 weeks you learn to that, it has very deep metabolic effects. It has very deep spiritual benefits because of its effect on the stimulation of prana flow.
El Kapalabhati es una práctica muy poderosa en la que lo que se hace es que se produce una expiración forzada, y es una práctica muy potente que se necesita lógicamente una práctica. En 3 o 4 semanas se puede adquirir y se producen beneficios no solo a nivel del metabolismo, sino también beneficios espirituales por la estimulación del prana.
So Kapalabhati, by strongly stimulating flow of prana, it starts opening the channels. It starts opening even the reserve channels, which are not active most of the time. When the channels are active and flowing prana, body becomes vitalized because prana reaches to even deeper stages, and it starts first purifying and then stimulating the metabolism. So it's very good when metabolism is slow, there are toxins, there are slowness in the neurological system, in the behavior, or in the metabolism.
Kapalabhati lo que hace es que abre los canales y abre incluso los canales que estaban inactivos, lo que hace que este prana puede llegar más a todas las zonas, los canales se abren y entonces se produce una purificación y una estimulación del metabolismo y la eliminación de las toxinas, ¿no? Y esto tiene un efecto inmediato ahí.
It reduces, it stimulates the metabolism, thereby it body starts burning calories. During the practice itself, if you practice for more than 5 minutes, it will start burning the calories which are derived from the carbohydrates, the readily available calories. So you can measure that. There is a measurement of metabolic measurement that metabolism is stimulated up to 37 to 50%, 52% of metabolic speed of consumption is increased. That has been found in the investigation.
El cuerpo empieza a quemar calorías y quema las calorías de los hidratos de carbono, de forma que se produce de un 37 a un 52% de aumento en la estimulación del metabolismo.
So it is very, very, very effective in the people who have slow metabolism, people who have diabetes, people who have obesity, central abdominal fat. So it is not necessary that only yogis do. Even ordinary people can do this and benefit.
Es muy efectiva en personas con metabolismo lento, con diabetes mellitus, con obesidad abdominal y para eliminar la grasa abdominal. Puede hacerlo cualquier persona.
So, also not only on the body, also on the brain. Now you can attach the electrodes and study how the practice of yoga affects our brain. Brain, if you study brain waves, you can also study nowadays near infrared. In near infrared, we put sensors here, and when the person does the practice of Kapalabhati, we saw, all of our students have seen, that this frontal brain is activated. You can see that frontal brain is activated, and frontal cortex is an area which is for memory, which is for synthesis of harmonious synthesis of the emotions, of the positivity. So practice of pranayama creates this kind of activity in the brain, which you can study now thanks to the new technology.
No solo tiene efectos esta práctica a nivel del metabolismo, sino también a nivel del cerebro, ¿no? Que se pueden hacer un electroencefalograma y registrar la actividad que se produce. En el cerebro frontal se activa y es la zona del cerebro frontal es precisamente donde está la memoria, la síntesis, las emociones, la positividad y crea esta actividad.
So the practice, when you are doing practice of Kapalabhati, you see there are changes in the brain. Brain has 4 types of waves. One is a beta wave when we are normally doing right now. Now we are normally working, you're working in office or whatever, you have a beta activity, which is generally the most active. You see lot of waves, so the brain is working. So it has its own frequency between 14 to 30. This is the number 1 here.
La práctica de Kapalabhati se ven cambios en el cerebro, ¿no? En la fase normal estaríamos en la beta y es cuando hay una mayor actividad, ¿no? Y tiene una función que es cuando estaríamos en la fase normal, que es cuando ves que hay muchas ondas.
Then alpha activity, where the brain is very relaxed, so you don't see many waves, relatively less waves. This happens when you are relaxed, you are resting, or you are meditating, your mind is calm, not agitated. That time you have a alpha activity, which is the relaxed stage of the brain.
Es un estado relajado de la mente.
Okay. Then you have another 2 related with the sleep. The delta activity is a very slow waste. Brain is almost, the cortex is very, very less working. At that time, you are in a deep sleep, you get delta waves.
Las delta es cuando estás en un estado de más reposo y de sueño.
And the theta waves are in a profound, when you are relaxed or you have a very good meditation, that time you get theta, where you are not sleeping, but your brain is superbly. For example, you are looking at a beautiful picture, a beautiful scene, or you are painting, you are doing something that you creatively, you're painting a mandala, or something that you like.
Las theta sería cuando estás en un profundo estado de relajación en meditación, después de una meditación, o bien después de haber pintado un mandala o de haber hecho una actividad de alta concentración.
So normally a person who is awake and you are testing, he will be full of beta and some alpha waves because brain is working and he is awake. But during the practice of Kapalabhati, there it goes down slowly action, and you see a lot of theta waves. Theta waves are of meditation, of profound relaxation. You are awake, you are the same person, but only thing you are breathing differently. And beta waves are this. So there is a mixed pattern of a paradoxical waves. One is a brain is active, at the same time brain is relaxed also.
Cuando se empieza, estaremos con una predominancia de actividad de ondas beta y alfa, pero aquí se produce una situación ciertamente después de la práctica como paradójica, porque se produce una situación en la que hay un estado de calma, pero que hay también asimismo una actividad mental.
And after the practice is finished, this changes a little bit. It goes, theta is gone because you are not in profound meditation. You are then in alpha beta rhythm. Alpha beta rhythm means you are active, at the same time you are relaxed. So it's like what we want. We want to be active, working, but not stressed. When you are stressed, what will happen is that only beta waves will come. Your brain will start working, your mind will start working, lot of thoughts. So you will come only beta waves. Instead, there are beta waves moderated by alpha wave, means you are also in control. You are doing activity, at the same time you are in control.
Después se produce una situación en la que estás en control, porque estás despierto y con un estado de alerta, pero al mismo tiempo calmado, que es lo que nos gustaría estar a todos.
So this is it shows after a practice that you are under the stress, your oxygen consumption increases because body is stimulated. But with this pranayama practice, this oxygen consumption to the stress, physical stress or mental stress, goes down, comes to the normal, so that what happens is that body, your nervous system is not falling for the stress, is not suffering during the stress.
Esto muestra que después de este consumo de oxígeno, la mente está calmada, se normaliza.
So with Anuloma Viloma, the alternative medicine, alternative breathing, because it changes from left to right, right to left, it equilibrates left brain and right brain, and that causes a reduction in the sympathetic drive. Sympathetic drive means that your body is not working by thought, analysis, reflection. Your body working by adrenaline. It is just jumping. It is just fighting. It is not thinking.
En anuloma viloma se produce un equilibrio y esto causa una disminución del sistema simpático. Normalmente, si trabajas con el sistema simpático, lo que estarás es que tendrás aspectos que funcionarán por adrenalina, por reacción, por acción.
It normalizes the blood pressure, reduces the blood pressure, reduces the heart rate, increases memory and concentration, increases ability to focalize.
Normaliza la tensión arterial, disminuye la frecuencia cardíaca, aumenta la memoria y la concentración, aumenta la capacidad de estar enfocado.
Also, in a people who had a slow metabolism and obesity with abnormal lipid profile, this practice of 6 months, they saw that there was a loss of weight and the cholesterol and triglycerides were reduced.
En personas con un metabolismo lento, esta práctica durante 6 meses mostró una disminución del colesterol.
So this gives physical as well as mental benefit of calm, stable mind.
Esto proporciona un beneficio no solo físico, sino también mental.
This is very interesting study, the last one. I don't want to know more today. This shows that there are red spots here. These are the critical areas where there is a hippocampus, where there is a these are the areas where and also cerebellum, where balancing, the physical balancing equilibrium is there, and another is the area of hippocampus where there is a emotional processing happens, memory processing happens. And in this technique, the machine can see how much brain tissue is there, how much brain is nourished. So after practicing for 6 months, they found that the density of gray matter has increased. Brain has changed. It means the brain gray matter in that place has increased. And these are the areas which give us the emotional control. These are the areas which give us the calm and positive state of mind. It gives us that person becomes very stable, even in front of a danger or stressful condition. The brain and nervous system does not go into adrenaline secretion. So this is a very strong proof of how yoga practice not only changes the psychological reaction, but also changes the brain.
Este estudio de aquí es muy interesante porque muestra diferentes áreas, ¿no? Los puntos rojos son las áreas del hipocampo, del equilibrio, del cerebelo, y las zonas del hipocampo donde se procesa la memoria y las emociones, ¿no? Entonces, en este estudio se vio que después de 6 meses de práctica había un aumento de materia gris en estas zonas, en estas áreas de control emocional, lo que implica que la persona tendrá una mayor calma, una mente más positiva, una mayor estabilidad en el cerebro y en el sistema nervioso, y no se va a producir una secreción de adrenalina, por lo que la práctica del yoga no solo cambia físicamente el cuerpo y las emociones, sino también cambia el cerebro. Okay.
So this is useful for the people who are having problems of or danger of dementia or degeneration, cerebral atrophy. In this also it will be useful.
Esto sería de utilidad también en personas con demencia o con problemas cerebrales o con tendencia a la degeneración.
So what we were looking for during first when we started is we needed not to be dependent on vaccine or the medicine or any other thing. We want to use our internal resources by good diet and good yogic practice to come back to the equilibrium of the health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, as well as have a strong immunity. You know, there are many parameters of human parameters that are improved when parasympathetic drive is increased and sympathetic drive is reduced, because cortisol depresses the immunity and increases the autoimmunity, whereas the parasympathetic brain activity will increase the endocrine functioning, increase the equilibrium of the immunity, and increase the immune parameters, reduces the diabetes, reduces the slow metabolism, reduces the obesity. So with all these benefits and with all these newer studies and evidences, we can easily say that don't worry, there may be pandemic, there may be new dangers coming. World is always a dangerous place. If not viruses, there are human viruses there. There are human character problems are there. But we can all, by regular practice of yoga, make ourselves non-dependent on external things. Naturally, we can stimulate our immunity, mental immunity, spiritual immunity, with strong mind, strong mental ability, strong intellectual ability. We can live a positive and also long and healthy life. This is what I think is a message that should go of reassuring message that yoga is there for you. Yoga philosophy is there for you. Yoga values are there for you. No need to lose the hopes. In fact, be positive, adopt the healthy life practices, and these things will pass. Many things have come and gone. We will have a better days, and good period ahead. Only we have to be stronger and last longer to enjoy the good season. That is it. I'm sorry if it was too sketchy and too fast, but I have tried my level best. Thank you very much.
Necesitamos no depender de nada, ¿no? Todo lo que he estado explicando ahora en resumen es que necesitamos utilizar nuestros propios recursos internos con una buena dieta y con el yoga, volver a mantener el equilibrio de nuestra salud mental, nuestra inmunidad y mantener unos parámetros que nos permitan mantenernos mejor, ¿no? Porque esa estimulación, disminuir la estimulación del sistema simpático y aumentar la del parasimpático, que nos proporciona una mayor secreción endocrina, una mayor inmunidad, un mayor equilibrio, mejores parámetros, nos mejora la diabetes, la obesidad, etcétera. Entonces, todos estos beneficios podemos decir, con todos estos beneficios que hemos explicado, puedo decir que no te preocupes. Con virus o sin virus, el mundo ya es bastante peligroso. Incluso si no hay virus, estamos nosotros, como para generar también problemas. Entonces, no dependamos de agentes externos, ¿no? Generemos una buena inmunidad física, una buena inmunidad mental, una buena inmunidad espiritual y una buena habilidad, con una buena vida, una buena actividad, habilidad intelectual, tendremos una vida larga, saludable. Y el yoga está ahí para nosotros, ¿no? No perdáis la esperanza, adoptar un estilo de vida saludable y haced que estas cosas pasan y pasarán. Y lo importante es que sigamos adelante, que tengamos una buena vida y que podamos avanzar. Gracias. Okay, if you stop
So
sharing,
many salutations and
saludos a
thank you very much.
todos.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So namaste, today also we must little bit pass the meaning of namaste. That is, my soul honors your soul. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides, that is your heart. I honor the light in you. I honor the love, truth, beauty, and peace within you because it is also within me. In sharing these things, we are united, we are the same, we are the one. So namaste to that unicity, namaste to the universe, namaste to the Brahman.
Namaste al
Om
universo.
Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti. If you stop sharing, perhaps we can give some time for questions and answers, and very short time because we need to also give time to Anita for the lecture of yoga.
Yeah.
Ok. Dejamos un momento para preguntas, si hay alguien que quiera preguntar algo, preguntas, respuestas. ¿No? Okay, then, so
I think now, please go ahead with practice. Anita, thank you very much. She's joining from Zurich directly. So this is really has been a very strong operation, but okay. You will also do for South America later, right? Okay. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Sudhakar, can you pass me again the host?
Yeah.